Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rated Puzzles Grind on chess.com. As always, I'll try to solve the puzzles as quickly as possible and then talk about the solutions. But before that, today is a pretty special day because, well, I do the daily puzzle on chess.com every day and yeah, I suggest you to do that too if you want to practice some chess. It's really fun and if you don't understand the solution, there's usually or even always some video explaining it, so it's just cool. And I wanted to share with you today's daily puzzle because I found it unusually fascinating. So, okay, let's click retry. So, this is black to move and this fascinating position. So, if you want to try and solve it yourself and you haven't yet, I suggest you to pause the video and try and figure out the solution. Alright, so I hope that you already did that because now I will spoil the solution. Well, I think first I should comment a bit on what's happening in this puzzle. So, we are black. We have two knights and a king and a pawn that is about to promote only one square, and we can just promote this move if we want, of course. We are not in check. And yeah, the opponent has a queen. It's interesting, a king, okay, a bishop, and this pawn is kind of not important. And yeah, well, the first thing that I thought was, okay, what if I just queen? It doesn't seem so bad. And I'm not sure. It's probably not completely horrible, but yeah, I can't queen, but maybe there's something better. And I started to look at, okay, my knight, my king, they are kind of preventing the opponent's king from moving, and this knight is also kind of doing something similar, so the opposing king kind of lacks space, and maybe I can somehow take advantage of that. And I thought, okay, so maybe I can mate him somehow. And I was looking at, okay, I have this check, but the bishop would just take. It doesn't seem great. And I was like, okay, I have this check also, and that already looked quite interesting because he doesn't have that many squares to move to. If I checked here, I calculated this, I saw like, okay, he can just go down. Then I have this check, and it looks quite promising. But then he just goes down again, and I just have no more checks. Of course, I can still promote, but I didn't see a forced mate. And then this crazy idea came to me. I thought, wait, what if I promote, but I promote not into a queen, but into a knight? And that came to me because, well, the king is a knight's distance away from that square. And that's very interesting because if I promote into a knight, then it's check, and maybe there's some kind of forced mate. And then immediately you can see he can't move to these three squares. This is covered by the knights and also by the king, these upper squares. So that leaves already only two moves. So if I check, I knight, I become a knight, he's in check. So if he goes up, then it's actually mate pretty quickly. I believe, yeah, then I would check him like this. He would have to go up, and then this would be checkmate, which is pretty crazy, but yeah, I guess I will show it to you soon. And then otherwise he has to go down, and if he goes down, then I basically have this check, and then this is covered by my knights. And yeah, I guess I will just show it with analysis, it's easier. But basically this just leads to forced mate, and once again this is an important move. This knight can also check, but it's important that this knight covers these two squares. So you check with this knight, he goes down. Once again, these squares are covered by this knight, which is very important. And yeah, you check with this knight, and it's made because these squares are covered by this knight, and this knight covers these squares, which is pretty great. And yeah, he can't move anywhere. And this is just, oh, I misclicked on the king. Sorry. It was this knight check. And I can show you what I meant in analysis. If he goes up, then this is check, he has to go up again, and this is checkmate. So yeah, and if he goes down, it's the same as in the puzzles. So just a very beautiful daily puzzle. I thought it was worth sharing because not so often you have three knights checkmating the enemy king. So yeah, I thought it was very interesting. But now let's come back to the usual puzzles of the day, and let's begin. Wow, so I completely brain farted. I saw that okay, so his king is out of squares. This is the only square he has. So I thought, okay, if I move my king here, it's looking pretty good because I threaten to put my rook there and it would be checkmate because his king can't move. But what I completely missed that if my king moves here, he can just capture the pawn. And luckily for me, it didn't matter because if I go here and I still threaten this mate, but I completely didn't calculate this move. But it actually doesn't matter because from here he can't really move anywhere because my king covers that, my knight covers that, and my pawn covers that. And if I check him here with the rook, the pawn is also covered. But it might have been just so that he just escaped somehow this way. But yeah, I got lucky enough that everything is just covered and it doesn't matter that I missed that his king can go to c3. So yeah, it's very bad, but yeah, here it's just that he's out of squares, and if I move here I threaten to mate in one with my rook. He can't capture it because the knight covers that square, and yeah, apparently he could capture it if not for my rook on that rank. And yeah, this is just the only move which doesn't mate him, but even if he runs, I can still do this because once again these squares are covered by my knight, and this by my pawn, and this by my king, and this pawn by my rook. So yeah, pretty pretty crazy, pretty interesting, and yeah, I suppose it's nice that the king can't escape, so let's keep going. Wow, so this puzzle is very beautiful, but also pretty similar theme to the last one where the king is kind of out of squares. And wow, I got plus 12. That's pretty insane. I haven't. Yeah, I don't think I've seen such a massive gain in a while. And also 5 puzzles in a row. Wow, we're actually quite close to 2600, which is pretty crazy. So yesterday I took a day off recording, which was because well, it was just a pretty busy day. I wanted to get through the puzzles as quickly as possible because if I record the episodes, it lasts a bit longer because obviously I talk more and explain stuff. So yeah, and I also did quite well yesterday, so maybe it's possible to reach 2600 today, which would be insane. Of course, I don't really care that much about the rating. What's most important is just to keep learning. But yeah, let's just explain this puzzle. So the first thing I notice is, okay, the enemy king is almost out of squares, just like in the last one. This is covered by my king. This also, yeah, this is covered by the pawn. He can't capture it. He can't put himself on check. The same goes for that pawn, and this is covered by my rook. And my pawns cover that doubly, so this is the only square the king can go to. And I have no checks currently, but I thought, what if I just push the pawn? He can't capture it with the king because of my rook, and this would actually free this a5 square for my rook, and it could possibly be checkmate. And in fact, the only move for him to prevent it is just to take with the pawn. Uh, I mean, that's not even preventing it. If he takes with the pawn, I just go there anyway, and it's mate because he can't capture my rook and he can't go anywhere else, as I explained before. And yeah, then I saw that he can just push the pawn, and then that square is protected by his pawn. And I thought maybe capturing or something like that, but I saw that I can just move my rook here. And what that does is it pins his pawn to the king. He can't move the king, so he can't remove the pin. And then, if the pawn is pinned, he can't capture my rook. So, yeah, once again, what this move does is it aligns the rook with the king. So, this square becomes unprotected because if I move my rook here, he cannot capture because he can't put himself in check. It's called a pin. And yeah, he really just has no moves. He can't do anything. He can't move the pawn. It's pinned. He just has no moves no matter what he does. This move is just unstoppable. It's checkmate, and once again, he can't capture because he can't put himself in check. Wow, so just wonderful. A wonderful puzzle, and yeah, hopefully you understood the solution. Alright, let's keep going. Damn, I was so afraid that, yeah, I might move the king in the wrong place. And why is this incorrect? I'm not sure. Seems like it should make sense to protect the pawn, but apparently it doesn't. So, why is this move bad? Because he takes this pawn then, and my bishop is under attack. And yeah, apparently then it's somehow bad for me. Yeah, so it's not so simple, but apparently if I go here and he takes the pawn, then I take his pawn, then that's fine. Not so simple. Not so simple, but I suppose protecting these pawns and the center is somehow more important, and also the bishop. So yeah, they have this threat. So yeah, not such a simple puzzle, but I guess it makes sense. Yeah, but here what is really important that, yeah, you can, if you don't capture, well, what I calculated is you're just getting mated. If you try to run somewhere, well, yeah, he just yeah, it's actually is really scary that he can just capture, because then he moves anywhere, and this is just mate, because the rook and the queen are covering the two files. And yeah, if you try to do something like this, it doesn't really matter, because it's just the same. These two files are just dominated, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. So you have to capture on g6, and yeah, like you can capture in two ways. And the difference is that if you capture with the queen, you would think it's whatever, we just trade queens, but actually what he can do is just move away with the queen like here, and he protects the rook, and now your queen is pinned to the king. So that's a massive difference. And yeah, like whatever you do, like rook g5, yeah, you have to block, but it's just not great. He just takes, like you take, as you can see in the engine lights, and in the end you're still pinned. So it's just not good to pin your queen like that. But if you capture with the pawn, then you don't have such issues. If he just captures, you can just capture, and this is fine. But apparently here you have to go king f7 to protect the center, I suppose, and yeah, then he doesn't have much to do. So yeah, an interesting puzzle for sure. Wow, minus 15. Yeah, rated puzzles are pretty brutal, guys, but I just have no idea. Like, I have no checks, it just hangs rook. This is a massive threat, just taking my rook. So how the hell do I play this? I push the pawn anyway. What? What? I'm confused. I don't understand. What? What did I miss? Am I stupid? If I push the pawn, I saw this move, but he just does this, and what the heck do I do? What? I go here, and I missed that I can push the pawn? Apparently this is the only move. Apparently this is mate. Wow, this is crazy, guys. So I thought that the pawn push was just bad because he would play this move, but apparently I just don't care. If he tries this, I'm just up material. Oh, apparently I don't capture it. I do this. Then if he goes here, then I capture. I mean, this is not so simple as you can see, but yeah, apparently I can push the pawn, and if he does this, I just don't care, and whatever he does, apparently, like here is so tempting to just capture the rook, but I have to play this move, so that wherever he goes, yeah, but why is there such a big difference? What if I just, oh, my rook is hanging, that's that's the difference. If yeah, if he captures my knight in this variation, if I capture the rook, he just captures my rook, and I'm just down a knight and completely losing. So I have to play this first of all, so that my rook is protected by my pawn, and then I can capture, and then I'm winning. So wow, not a simple puzzle, but yeah, I suppose even if after this pawn push that looks scary, I should look into it and see, maybe I don't care. Maybe in chess sometimes you just don't care about some moves. And once again here, this is crucial. You can't just recapture because the rook is hanging, and yeah, you lose the game if you lose it. So you just check, make sure that the rook is protected, and then you can freely capture. So not a simple puzzle, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Alright, so pretty interesting. Another puzzle where the enemy king can't really move. So today seems to be the day where the opponent's king is almost out of squares and gets mated. So here I noticed that my rook covers these squares, so it's pretty nice, and my pawn covers these squares. So these are the only two squares the enemy king can go to, and conveniently my king is here to make such a move and prevent him from moving at all. And then he has only one check, but that is protected by my pawn, so I can just capture. His rook is stuck out of the game, and if I go here, he can't move anywhere, so any check is just checkmate as long as he can't capture it, and conveniently my rook can just go there and check him, and he can't capture it, supported by the pawn, and he can't move, so it's just checkmate. So once again, just yeah, he can try and push the pawn, it doesn't make any difference. This is just checkmate, the king can't move at all. Yeah, very beautiful. Damn, I shouldn't have been so hasty. I suppose I'm missing something. It's neither of these checks. Are you kidding me? What could it be then? I just take the rook? Wait, wait. So I saw this and I thought if he goes here I have this move, and apparently it's good. But not as good as the other move. Yeah, like I just saw this. He has to go wherever. Oh, apparently he can just play c3. Yeah, I missed this, and then yeah, I have nothing actually, so it's just bad. I shouldn't have been as hasty, and yeah, apparently if I capture the rook, why doesn't he just capture with the queen? Because then I check him and wow, apparently I just keep checking him somehow, and yeah, either win the queen or yeah, I just win the queen. So that's why he can't capture with the queen, apparently, because I just win the queen. And if he captures with the king, I just win his queen and I win it anyways. So fairly complicated apparently, but this is just a great move. Like you check him, you attack the rook, and then you have apparently you don't have this because he just pushes the pawn, but you can take the rook and he actually can't recapture. If he recaptures with the king, his rook, his queen is just pinned and you win the queen. And if he captures with the queen, you win the queen anyway, just a bit later. So yeah, apparently that's the solution. No, pretty cool also. Damn, apparently that's incorrect. What do I have here then? What a crazy puzzle, guys. What a crazy puzzle. Wait, is it just this somehow? Wait, now I have this check, which I totally missed. I totally missed. And it's also incorrect, because he just blocks with the queen. Well, I have this check, which I also didn't calculate, so clearly my attempt to solve this puzzle has been very flawed. Yeah, yeah, just completely very horrible by me. Yeah, just horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. Yeah, I spent 6 minutes and yeah, it's just horrible by me, so I'm very upset, but yeah, so this is the position and this move looks very promising. So yeah, you can just play it and now the variations begin. Like here, this is the only move. And this looks interesting. So first I was looking at this, I thought maybe it works, but apparently I saw that he just escapes to this square and yeah, you have nothing even if you try and check him or whatever. Yeah, you just lose the queen and you have no more checks if you take the queen. Well, you can just take your queen and you're just completely lost. So this doesn't work, and then I saw, okay, I have this check which looked promising, and I was calculating all kinds of stuff. If he goes here, then this is just checkmate. But if he goes here, I was looking at all kinds of moves, like well, initially I was looking at this move. I thought I can maybe bring the rook in and somehow this rook is pinned, and if he captures, well, he can't capture, it's pinned. If he captures my rook, I recapture with the queen, and I was looking like, okay, he goes here. I thought I go here. Uh, okay, apparently, if he goes here, yeah, I saw the forced mate and 4 here, but what I missed was he doesn't have to capture. He can play queen d8 check, apparently, and I block. And apparently, he then has queen d3, defending the rook and attacking my queen. And it's a draw somehow, so yeah, I totally missed that, but apparently if you go here, it's just completely winning because the bishop covers these squares. He can't block with the queen because you just take it, the bishop covers that. And yeah, if he goes here, then it's just completely lost for him. Only one move, and this is just mate, so yeah, yeah, I totally missed that, very bad of me, but yeah, it's a beautiful puzzle. I can only blame it on myself. Damn. Is this better somehow? What am I missing here? Um, Maybe this is just better. Why is it so much better? What am I missing? So why is this bad? Because he can go queen e4 attacking it and still attacking this, so then it's a fork and I can't defend both pieces, so that's why it's bad. I suppose I should have considered that. Yeah, I see that it's way too often that I don't consider my opponent's moves when calculating these positions with many pieces or something, but yeah, I should do that more often. And this just defends the bishop and it's a stable position. Also, I threatened to, well, so maybe sometime in the future move my bishop somewhere and open up this file, and yeah, I threaten this still. So yeah, if he does this, apparently I don't even capture the pawn. Well, now it's protected. I just move my rook somewhere, but the point is that I'm just up a piece. Yeah, but the initial position in the puzzle, yeah, like this capture looks interesting. If I capture with the knight, he just takes with the pawn, and you have to move the bishop somewhere. It's nothing great. But if you capture with the bishop, he has to capture with the pawn. Of course, he can't take with the queen because I just take the queen. And if he captures with the pawn, he opens up the square. I push my pawn, and it's just a fork. And he loses a knight after moving his queen. So yeah, just take the knight. But now you have to be precise. This is once again a bad move because he plays this and attacks both the knight and the bishop. Yeah, so you just defend the bishop and you're doing fine. So yeah, let's keep going. This position is just crazy. Wow, so I found the first mate, but yeah, it was quite crazy calculating this. So this is just an insane position. Like, how the heck did the pawn end up there? And my rook and knight are just undeveloped, and his king is completely out in the open, and this is just insane. So yeah, I suspected that there might be a forced mate here, and yeah, like just capturing the queen just doesn't work. He just takes your rook, and yeah, it's just bad. And he gets a queen of his own, so it's just not looking great. But yeah, I was looking at this, and yeah, here if he goes here, this is just mate, very simple. And then the only other move is the bishop block. So this is what I struggled with for a while, and really, as you can see, this is the only move which I eventually found. But I was looking at other moves, and yeah, bringing the rook in doesn't work. It's just very well defended by the queen and the bishop. Like this check doesn't work because he just blocks with the queen, I think, or whatever. Oh no, apparently, oh, he just takes my knight, right? I calculated this. Yes, he just takes my knight, and he has escaped, and I'm just losing. But what I found, I was looking at the knight, then this check doesn't work. He just takes with the rook, but I eventually noticed this check because the bishop is actually pinned now. My queen pins it to the king. He can't put himself in check, and yeah, once I saw it, it pretty quickly made sense because now these are covered by my queen, and wherever he goes, I just checkmate him on that square because my queen covers that, my knight covers that, and my queen covers these other squares. He can't block with anything, and yeah, this is just a very nice mate. So yeah, pretty crazy complex position, but apparently that's just the forced mate. Alright, so one puzzle remaining, let's get it. Oh, wow, plus 13, alright. If I got plus 12 on the other puzzle, this plus 13 is definitely the highest increase I've seen in a while. So I actually did it in exactly the target time. Wow, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, this is actually one of the simpler ones I've done today. So immediately there is just one check, and you should always check checks because some of them might be checkmate, just like in this position. And here really has only two moves, either capturing the rook or moving the king. And if he moves the king, then it's just mate in one, like this way. The two rooks just destroying the king. And yeah, if he captures the rook, then really there is just this check, which makes a ton of sense. The queen covers all these squares, and yeah, he has to go up to the back rank, and then the rook just supports my queen. So yeah, not much to say. Like no matter where he goes, this is just mate. So yeah, like I played this last move a bit slower because I thought, wait, maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I'm not missing anything. This is just mate. The king is just yeah, out of squares and checkmated. So pretty crazy, plus 13, very close to 2600. But yeah, I won't risk doing any more puzzles. Today I did 10, I believe. Let me check once again. Yes, it is 10 puzzles, and wow, pretty nice. It looks quite positive today, and the ones that I got wrong, I actually got some of the moves right initially. I just messed up my calculation later on, but yeah, I think that's pretty great because I can learn from what I missed and hopefully improve in the future. So wow, some pretty interesting puzzles, and just a nice day, feeling good. These puzzles are really inspiring to improve and learn from them. Just very interesting. Chess is a very crazy nice game, and yeah, the World Championship is actually coming up, I believe, on Friday. So if you're watching this sometime near the release of this video, you should definitely check it out in November of 2021. I believe it's on the 26th that it's starting. Magnus Carlsen, I believe, is playing Ian Nepomniachtchi or something like that. It should be just very exciting. The championship match for the next chess world champion. And yeah, Magnus Carlsen, if you don't know, has actually held the title for quite some years. I'm not sure how many exactly, but yeah, it should be just very, very exciting. You can find it on Twitch, I believe, or just you can check on chess.com and see the coverage somewhere. They should talk about it. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you got this far into the video, I really, really appreciate it. You can like the video if you enjoyed it. You can also subscribe to my channel and check out my Twitter. I post there every time I release a new video, and also I tweet some stuff, so you can also find me there. The link is in the description. Well, alright, that's all for today. Thank you so much once more, and I'll see you next time.